What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to channel Anderson and welcome to today's video. Now, if you guys are familiar with my channel, I have kind of a heap of older Mercedes of different generations. We got all the way back to 1994 all the way up to 2005, different C classes. We have an ML and our old 190 here that's going to be built. But with all these cars comes the responsibility of taking care of issues that come up related to the ECU, the electronics of the cars, as older German cars sometimes have those things happen. Some more so than others, but these for the most part pretty reliable. But every once in a while, you know, you'll run into a check engine light or something to do with ESP or the transmission control module, whatever it is. And to combat that, it's really nice to have a good set of scan tools. And I think that I found pretty good mix to show you guys here, aside from DOS, which we'll make a separate video about, because that's probably like the still peak pinnacle thing you want to pick up if you do own a Mercedes specifically. But for kind of in general use German cars, I have some good selection for you. So let's take a look and show you guys what I got going on. All right, guys, and first off, we got a lot going on in the garage, so our normal workspace or place to look at that is taken up. So we're going to be taking a look at these on the floor. But our first one is our launch X431, kind of our mini mobile scanner. Works through OBDII port, just like this one that we'll get into in a second. But this is a kind of on-the-go scanner, great capabilities, and we'll take a look at that in a second. This is probably, in my opinion, the best bang for buck one that you can get. They make them specific for a ton of different makes and models. And this one, of course, is Benz specific, but you can also use the regular OBDII function for any car, regardless of what style you choose for make specific. So that said, if you want to move to a little bit higher price point, they have this one, and I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but I will pop it up on screen. And of course, I'll leave the links down below in the bio and comment section. But this is one that I actually haven't gotten the chance to use yet, and we're going to do so in today's video, so I can show you kind of in real time what its capabilities are. But it is a little higher price point. I think it's around the $500 mark, but has a lot more functionality, and it is remote receiving, so you can plug in your Bluetooth. So like I said, guys, have not used this thing. That said, it has a bunch of different basically cables and clips that you can plug in with it. And there is the, I believe, OBDII scanner remote tool right there. Probably, yes, I believe so. I haven't even looked at this, guys, so I'm gonna have to get all this set up and I'll be back in a second. All right, guys, we're back. So in this one, you've got your OBDII cable that plugs into, looks like, your Bluetooth receiver. You have your OBDII cable, your USB cable for plugging into the device and uploading onto a computer, I believe. And then it gives you a charger, which is cool. Comes with a bunch of different outlets for different voltages. So that's convenient to have. The nice thing about this one, and probably, maybe not this one, but the nice thing about the smaller unit is it charges you know, off the car while you're using it, so it doesn't drain your battery or anything crazy like that, but it's just receiving a little bit of voltage and charges itself while it's in use. So as long as you keep it kind of above like the 80-90% charge range, it kind of just takes care of itself from there. So this one, I'm sure I'll have to charge every once in a while because it is Bluetooth. And yeah, I guess with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump in and see what we can see on the car plugging both of these in. All right. And just powered this on, power button right there. It's got a few buttons up top. Oh no, those are ports actually. Lied to you. Okay, USB port and maybe mini USB port. Yes, okay. So let's go try this out. All right, and the reason we're trying it out today and why I decided to make the video now and start our review process now is because this car just so happened to throw a BAS ESP light. So something to do with the brake system, I think, because it also has the ABS light on. It could be a possible thing that our brake pads are just low and it finally clipped the little brake pad sensor and, you know, cut the circuit, and that would be a possibility of that cause. The car was still running fine, didn't have any issues, but we'll see if we can track down anything with those scan tools that will reveal why it may be happening, or if it is in fact just from the brakes needing to get some new pads. All right guys, just powered that on, plugged in, and right away we have power, vehicle, and not USB, Bluetooth connection, so should be good. And over here we'll just go ahead and read this real quick and see how this works. First time using it, so let's check it out. All right, so it says intelligent diagnose, local diagnose, software update, diagnostic history, feedback service function, mall, info center, user info, and other modules. So let's just try this one. Let's see if it's going to connect first. I assume intelligent connections maybe has to do with the Bluetooth. So let's see what we can do here. All right guys, well, no luck on this one either. I think that we're gonna need a 38-pin connector to adapt to talk with this thing, which I will definitely pick up because I have this and we have the C36, which also will need to have something like that. So you can read ECU codes. I don't have any ECU codes on this thing. Like I said, it was just the BAS and ESP light that's on, or yeah, BAS, ESP, and the ABS light that was on. That right there, I believe, is the brake wear sensor warning, which did not come on. So that's telling me there's definitely something else going on with the system of this car. So who knows? We'll have to check a little further. I may have to bust out the StarDOS system for this one. So see what we can do. But let's check this out on some other cars, both these scanners on a little newer computers. All right, and wouldn't you know it, guys, those lights are not even on anymore. The story of owning older Benzes. Sometimes you have some fluke lights, and in this case, that might have been one of them. It could have got triggered by, who knows, you know, making a turn and something didn't read correctly off of the steering wheel sensor, or this car is lowered, so it could have thrown it off somehow. But yeah, I was just driving along, the car's running perfectly fine, and those lights popped up. I did a start and stop a few times earlier, but came back, and right now when it started, it went away. So we didn't clear anything, we didn't do anything, but maybe just the fact that I was looking into it, the car decided, I'm gonna turn them off. But let's try these scan tools out on something a little more modern. All right, you guys, and shout out to my buddy Ian here, stock AMG and Z06. He just confirmed what I was talking about. We need that 38-pin connector, so we'll go ahead and pick one of those up, and we can revisit these older chassis. All right guys, time traveling into the video here, but we did end up picking up a 38-pin connector. However, it's not the correct one that we needed. I was hopeful, but just wasn't right. This is for iCarSoft, and I thought it would work, but it does not talk with the launch scanner, so I'll be returning that one and picking up the actual launch tool. I just figured it was worth a shot, and it was arriving here in time for this video to get out to you guys. But anyways, we're gonna move on. I will revisit the early chassis once I have the proper 38-pin connector. We know we can at least get basic OBDII or OBDII information off of this and the C36, but I think it's time we move on to our newer chassis. All right, guys, well, our other options as far as ME 2.8s go are either the C55 or CLK55. I think in this case, we'll just read off of the CLK. They're both going to be pretty much the same, ME 2.8s. However, this one is an M113K swap, so this is ME 2.8.1, and I think it's better off. Let's just see K motor, what we can do. So let's check it out. All right, guys, chilling in the CLK now. We got our first X431 setup, and we'll go ahead. Sorry, let's get this in a spot where there's no glare for you guys. There we go. You can go to auto detect or Mercedes. In this case, because it's a swapped car, it's easier if I just go to manual select. We can technically choose both SL55 or just CLK55 on this one, since it is different ECU, but it's still, you know, in CLK chassis, so it works pretty much okay either way. But this one has got a ton of functionality. You can go to manual select and then basically go into your chassis code just like the other ones, and up to 0304, I think this one is a 2003, so I think I usually choose this. Yeah, great lighting for right now, guys. Sorry. Like every time I do this is at this time of day, and it just always creates the shadows and glares. Coupe, gasoline engine, left-hand steering. Let's go to CLK55. Then you can go into your control units, and this is where it gets fun. You can go into drive, engine control module, switch on ignition, okay. And from here, I mean, this one is impressive, guys. For 140 bucks when it's on sale, 180 I think originally, you can look through so much stuff on here. There's actuation tests, special functions, initial startups, variant coatings, a bunch of stuff. So let's see if we got any fault codes right now. Oil level sensor, yeah, I already know these. Stored, these are old ones. These are all showing up stored actually, so you can probably just erase these and say yes. Anyways, okay, switch off ignition. All right, there we go. So you tell you wait 10 seconds while you clear something. And then switch on ignition and say okay. All right, so there's that. And then besides that, you can go into like actuation tests, and I'll show you guys what's in here. You've got switchover valves, fuel injectors, throttle body actuator, purge valve, mixture adaptations, all types of stuff. So there's a lot you can do with this, guys, for what it is, and that's just in our engine control module. If you go into chassis, go into ESP, body, go into all of the SAMs and all those other things, modules, information communication, you can change certain settings on your instrument cluster. You can change your tele-aid. I believe I did this in variant coding function not supported. Oh, might have been something else. But I think on the C55 I figured out a way to basically remove tele-aid on the cluster, because I was getting the warning after deleting it. But yeah, there's just a ton of stuff in here. And then besides that, if you go back to our original menu, we can go into special function, and you can do all these learning procedures and all types of stuff. So for what it is and the price point this thing is at, it's pretty amazing. I mean, because nothing like this existed when I first got into these cars. I mean, the best thing that was out was the iCarSoft, and that thing just doesn't even hold a candle to these things, especially when that costs a little bit more or the same as these things now. So pretty crazy kind of what's available nowadays. But OBDII, you can read all the normal stuff as well, and it's cool because it goes through, and I'll show you guys here in a second, but it basically checks which CAN bus type you have. So it'll go through and check all these, and will result like failed. And then when it finds the right one, then it will sync through, which is cool because I didn't know what type of CAN bus Mercedes had or what it was called before, but now I know. So it's gonna go through, it's gonna fail those first 3, I think, or 4. Match. Okay, so it's OBDII ISO, whatever that said, and it gives us the VIN, and then we can do a bunch of stuff from here too. So this is also pretty useful, and you can go and read fault code. We can see if those other ones were definitely cleared. That's cool. But read vehicle information, all this different stuff. So yeah, for what that one is, I'd say if you guys are looking for just a scan tool to have. Like if you don't have any right now, this is a great pickup. And that's not me trying to sell you guys on it. It's just like from my experience, literally 140 bucks for any scan tool nowadays is like kind of the low threshold. I mean, you can find really cheap OBDII scanners that just do OBDII for like 30 bucks, you know, 40 bucks. But for something like this that can do as much as it can for 140 bucks, I'd rather just spend that little bit extra money, get a really good one that's going to last for a while and be able to do a ton of things capability wise. So yeah, that's kind of the best bang for buck entry tool in my opinion, especially for Benz, and you can buy them specific to a bunch of different models. So that's that. But if you're, you know, maybe you have an independent shop, or you have multiple vehicles, different makes and models and all that stuff, and you want something that is a little more advanced, this is probably the one that you want to venture into. So let's see what this will pull as far as information goes, now that we're looking at a proper, you know, newer ECU that can be used with it. So I'm excited. Let's check it out, see what it can do. All right guys, so right off the bat, again, just a refresher, we got our little Bluetooth dongle over there. Everything as far as like feel of these, I mean, they're really well built, they feel great. This one's obviously a little heavier duty, but let's go ahead, let's see if this one can do our intelligent diagnosis. So I'll check back in a second once this gets done. Oh, never mind, it might be fast. Let's just hang out. Okay, reading VIN. This will flash a couple times while it's doing it, and blue light and green light will kind of change, and there we go. Okay, sick. All right, it tells us CLK55 2003, even gives a VIN and all that stuff. So let's go into diagnostic. I'm excited. I actually get to see this menu now. I'm excited to see it on the C36 and C43 once I get that adapter piece, but don't have that yet. So okay, it says now read mileage off the ECU, and we're gonna go up to 0304, say okay, and should we just do system scan, health report? What should we do? System scan, yes. Switch on ignition. Okay. All right. This is gonna go all the way to 100%. We'll see how long this takes. I'll come back. All right, guys. So if I go back real quick, it finished up that health report 100%. It's got basically every module that's in the car ready to be looked through. So if we go to engine control module, for instance, switch on ignition, then we can go into, sorry guys, it glares this time of day, man. Can go in and basically do all types of stuff. You got your variant coding, initial startup, module information, read fault codes, read data streams. So let's see what pops up for options in data streams. So you got check engine value at cold, test engine idle speed, bunch of stuff on here. Let's see, sensor adaptations, all good stuff. A lot of these you can do on this too. So let's try to see some unique stuff. Let's go into special functions, see what they got in here. Learning processes, resetting of sensor adaptation, resetting of mixture adaptation, default initialization. So there is like a specific driving cycle you need to do to get this to properly adapt, but you can kind of get away with the sensor adaptations just doing it and then going through it. So you can use those for sure. Default initialization, check sensor adaptation, resetting a mixture adaptation. So same thing, it'll pop up in this little menu. You can run the car and then it will go through that process with you. Also a really good one to have. What is correction program? Let's see what that is. Ignition, so idling speed. Anyways, I don't remember seeing that before. Initial startup. Let's go into variant coding and see what this is capable of. This one can do a little bit. Definitely if you're going to get into the territory of like actual variant coding and trying to program certain things, I would, if you're really interested in doing that, I would definitely just go with a star DOS system. Hit up Mercedes Swap Shop, Josh, and I'll make a specific video. You guys know I have that kit from them, and I'll make a video for that. I've just been taking my time to get as familiar as I can with it, because it's intensive and there's a ton you can do with it, and it's overwhelming, like how much is in there. So I really want to get a good understanding before I make an actual video on that. So I'm getting close. I'm pretty comfortable with it now, but want to be able to show you guys accurately. So yeah, but if you're planning on doing a bunch of area coding or programming or anything like that, just go with a StarDOS system right off the bat, because yeah, you'll need it. But this has got stuff like if you want to change, you know, if you go to a different tire size, or you got a different diff ratio or stuff like that, you can probably go in here and do a lot of that. So this from what I'm seeing right here definitely has a lot more than what's in here, so that's cool to see. But still, if you're going crazy, you don't want to do that in here. You want to do that in a StarDOS system. So I can see here they actually did already set, which is cool. They set different wheel circumferences for the different tires that we have on here. So anyways, let's go back and let's go check out some of the other modules. All right, one I'm curious of, they have system scan right here. I'm going to go into that, and where it's going to go carry out. I think this is the one that's going to basically tell you all the different things that could have faults or whatever. So man, this glare is insane, guys. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to move all these different spots, and it looks okay to me in person, but the camera angle, no matter what, you guys see me on the screen right there. Hello. So I'm doing my best, but time of day combined with, you know, screens on screens being recorded doesn't do great. But let's let this run, and we'll come back in a second and see what it finds. All right, guys, this one is back. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is between this and the last selection we made, but we'll see, I guess, once you go in here. In TCM, see what it's got. Okay, kind of the same thing. So, all right, let's go back and system selection, see what that does. Okay, so that just lets you go select the modules by themselves, which this is cool. You don't have to go into you know, like drive or body or chassis or anything like that. It just shows all the readable modules basically here. So for instance, let's go to, I don't know, instrument cluster, switch on ignition. Okay, so in here you got module information, read fault code, clear fault code, actuation test. So same thing as the other ones, but let's see if there's any fault codes. Stored. So these I did not read inside of that one, so it's definitely picking up something else. Faults in CAN communication. And then let's go ahead and, okay, got it. And then how do you remove from here after you find them? You can also do a code search. Let's see what that does. Oh, I don't think I have mine connected to the internet, so that's not gonna work. But if you do connect to the internet, then you can do that. Let's go into, what is that gonna do? Go back. Okay, how do we, maybe this is not where we clear things, it's just where we read things, I think, maybe. Let's go back. Okay, clear, there we go. Clear, yes, I would like to clear. Switch off ignition. Okay. And this is one of the big differences too, like with the cheap scanners, they just, you know, try to clear the codes, they clear them. But this is actually going through a process. It's not just, you know, trying to clear whatever's there. You got to switch off the ignition, switch onto the ignition. So it's trying to do the best version of that, and not just kind of throwing a shot at it. So let's go into special function, see what's in here. Inside of the ignition cluster, you can go to you can reset basically your system service, so like oil changes and whatnot. You can reset the service lights. variant coding. Let's see what's on here. Trip computer, so I'm guessing you can go in and let's see what we find inside of here. So clock adjustment, so you can change like all these settings, which is, this is definitely more than that one too. So inside of each one of these individual components of the instrument cluster, you can change all these, so that's pretty cool. All right, so what we've seen, I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here, you guys. To make a whole video walking through all of it would take forever. I'm sure this video is already long, so let's go check out some other things in here. So on the front page, you got intelligent diagnose, so that's how it automatically connects. You got local diagnose, software updates, diagnostic history, feedback, service function, mall, info center, user info, and other modules. So if we go to like local diagnose, for instance, exit the current diagnosis. Yes, and it makes that crazy noise. Let's go into diagnostic. Oops, end the session, sorry. Yes, okay, all right, go back. Local diagnose. So this is what I was talking about with every make and model, guys. You guys saw this earlier, but insane. They pretty much got every car you could imagine. You can set it up by European, common, American, Asian, Chinese, etc. So there's a ton of stuff on here. Service functions. They've got all these different things that I think we saw at the beginning of the video too, but it's impressive for what it is. This one, I mean, me personally, I really only work on Mercedes, and I don't plan on ever opening up an independent shop to have to be able to work on all those different types of makes and models. So for me, the X431, the smaller orange scanner, combined with my Star DOS setup that I have, is pretty much everything I need. But at the same time, that scan tool is definitely viable. And if you didn't have, a Star DOS and you wanted to have at least one that you could do a good chunk of things with, that bigger one would be a good thing to have. But for me, I think my choice in the end would be a combination of having that orange scanner, the X431, for the on-the-go stuff, and just for keeping it in the car or whatever when you go on road trips, or just want to have in the car just in case, and then having the Star DOS set up to use at home. That'll be my pick. So you guys let me know what you think. What would you want to buy, or what do you plan to buy? Maybe you guys have already bought them. The X431 or the launch, I think it's CR919, something like that. But I'll link them both below so you guys know exactly what they are, what models they are. But basically the orange one or the black and red one, lower price point, higher price point, both very capable. The higher price point, obviously more capable, more capabilities, more makes and models to be used with, and a lot of functionality obviously between both of them. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and sorry we've been on a wonky schedule a little bit for those that are tuning in, my regular viewers, and not just people that came for this video. And if you did come for this video and maybe you're a Mercedes head or just a petrol head in general, feel free, check out my other videos. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. I promise I'll talk back with you and answer any questions you guys may have. Otherwise, enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. 3, 2, 1, 0, and lift off.